Poetry, literature, food, friends. There are so many things that make my life richer. And in this post-lockdown world where you're trying to find or rather create a new self, to forge a new lens to look at life, the things that you truly love are your greatest allies. And today I'm really excited because I'm going to have a very interesting conversation with a filmmaker from Singapore. His name is Bu Jung Feng. Jun Feng's films have been selected at Cannes twice. His film Sandcastle was an International Critics Week nominee. With films like Apprentice, Seven Letters, Jun Feng is one of Asia's most promising young filmmakers.
Hi Zoya.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Are you at home?
I'm at home, yeah. I'm at home. Actually in my TV room, but you don't look like you're at home.
No,
Where are you?
No, I'm in my school. My ex-school, my former school.
School or college?
Well, my college, my art college when I did my film studies for a year. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really excited to talk to you because I actually just saw your film this morning. So the images are like fresh in my head.
Which one did you see?
I saw Gully Boy.
Oh, you saw Gully Boy. Okay, that's the last film I did. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I saw Sandcastle.
Oh, did you?
In the last week, yeah. And I really, really liked Sandcastle. It was extremely moving. But what blew my mind was the family portrait. Yeah, the one which you were 19 when you shot that.
Yeah, it was my very first film when I did it in Barcelona.
I mean, it's incredible that you made that at 19. It was also nice to see you shot in Barcelona because I've shot there as well.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's our Spanish connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I've shot there as well. It's a great city.
It's very nice.
So where are you? You're in your school?
I am at my former arts college, La Salle College of the Arts. I did a year of the film program here. And it was like a year where I was given the chance to explore, to experiment. And actually the short film that I made here in this school was kind of my last independent short, and it went to Berlin. It went to Berlin Film Festival, where Gully Boy went.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But is your school? I mean, do you have like foreign students? Do they teach in English? Is it a possibility if kids want to come from India to a film school and?
Oh, for sure. I mean, English is the lingua franca here, so everything is taught in English.
In English.
So I think in this college they have students from all over the world, especially from Southeast Asia, and right across the street actually from La Salle is Little India, where at the moment there is all the Deepavali light up, which is
for Diwali,
in the lead up to Deepavali. So it's quite a festive period here. Of course, if you take out COVID, it usually is more bustling.
I mean, I did hear when I came to Singapore last about Chinatown and Little India, though I never got a chance to visit it because I was there for such a short period of time. And of course, I would first pick going to Chinatown because just for the food. But I would pick going to Chinatown to look at it before I went to Little India. But Little India, is it like the sari shops and the spice shops? And is it like that?
Yes. And actually, there is a very big market there, local market there. Where I actually go to buy groceries. So it's a very bustling area. And typically, I think on weekends is when we will see the place especially crowded, from migrant workers to locals, kind of all congregating in the area.
You'll have a pretty decent Indian population, no? Like 10% the population, which is nice. So it's basically Chinese, Malay, Indian.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Now, the next time I come to Singapore, it's going to be nice to be out there, to meet you. I mean, I don't think whether you want to or not, you have no choice. But, to see a place through someone that lives there, a local, and also to see a place through a local who's interested in the same things I'm interested in. Like I like areas that have art. I like areas that have, historic buildings. I like districts where artists hang out. I like, the kind of things that, like the main tourist thing, because I've been to thing as a kid. So you just do what your parents make you do. So you do the botanical gardens and you see them all, you do all that. But then when I came as an adult, I came with film. So you ended up saying, okay, you need to eat this, or you need to do that. But I want to go there on my own and now explore areas, areas that are secrets in that sense.
For sure. Actually, in fact, just around the corner from the school is a place that I go to quite often. It's called Objectives. It's a center for photography and film as well. And you will find in there exhibitions as well as like these photo books as well as films from Singapore and also the region.
I love that.
It's quite a special place. And
I love that.
They have a non-profit place that supports photographers and filmmakers in Singapore. Yeah.
Like, I mean, when I come to Singapore now, I want to go to the places that, you've mentioned. And it would be very interesting for me to see, like, if I had to shoot Singapore, I might actually look at it very differently from what you do.
For sure.
Don't you think?
Yeah, and I mean that's the wonderful thing about going to a foreign place as well. You tend to pick out or from your own observations what life looks like.
Right.
And right now, actually, in Singapore, where the life is actually in the various housing estates that a lot of the good food, right, that used to be in Chinatown. Some of it still is in Chinatown or Little India, but they have all kind of moved into the rest of the island, where you will find actually where the food is the most local, where people the way people used to live around, for example, the older areas like Chinatown, where they would hang their clothes out on these bamboo poles. They have actually moved that practice into what we call the heartlands, whereby now on all these high-rise buildings, we call them HDB flats.
Right.
You would still see the same bamboo poles sticking out of kitchens and with underwear and all kinds of clothes hanging from them from like 20 floors above the ground. So
no, but that's the thing, because when you think of Singapore, when you're outside and when people talk to you about it, or when you see imagery of it, everything looks spanking new and clean and, shiny and perfect. And it's a lot of that. It's one of the safest, cleanest, most, the best air. It's one of those places, yes. But when I saw your films, there's also so much more atmosphere that you get when you see an artist's work that's from there that I wouldn't get normally. I wouldn't get that impression of the city just by being a tourist or just by looking at, you have to get in there, because that's where the juice of the people is. That's where the heartbeat is, the atmosphere of it, the buildings, the bamboo sticking out with the underwear, the little, corners with the food. That's what you want to see as well. At least for me, that interests me, those, in that sense.
Actually, there is a growing scene in Singapore of local designers, of artists. I think it comes with a certain maturing and confidence in our own work and in our own products, in our own films as well. So places like Objectives, like I talked about earlier, that does represent that, because they present a lot of local works by local artists and photographers and filmmakers. And I think the appetite for that, for discovering who we are, what we stand for, those are things that are growing in confidence, I will say. Okay, so let's play a game. It's called Singapore Singapore in a nutshell. Okay.
Okay.
What is the least likely place you would film at?
The least likely place that I've filmed in already was midair and underwater in my second film because I am paranoid of heights, and I had a skydiving sequence. I mean, I rarely wear heels. I'm that scared of heights. So I filmed in midair in this little plane that was open, and I was just freaking out. And then I did an underwater sequence, and I'm completely claustrophobic. I don't want to go underwater. So those were my least likely places. You?
So for me, it was so I wanted to document a cemetery in Singapore called Bukit Brown Cemetery. It's actually known to be possibly the largest Chinese cemetery outside of China, and it's on tiny Singapore. And I went there years ago, wanting to feel the space, and people thought I was weird, right? Like going to a cemetery. But what I did was I brought actors there, and we literally just lay down among the tombstones, and we just closed our eyes, and you just got the feeling of what a space like that would feel like if it was your final resting place.
Right.
And it was beautiful.
Coming out of the cemetery to something little more alive.
Yes.
What is a festival in Singapore that I could shoot? What is that one festival, like filmically, that would
Yeah.
be visually appealing for an audience?
Actually, honestly, the most beautiful festivals to me in Singapore are actually the Indian ones. Whether it's Deepavali or Thaipusam, when you see these processions and you see the lights and the color, to me, it is the most they offer me the most powerful images. But there's another festival in Singapore throughout. It's usually it's the lunar month, the 7th month of the lunar calendar, Chinese calendar. Again, it comes to a bit of a darker side. It's basically when the gates of hell open, and so it's called the Hungry Ghost Festival. And what you will see throughout the month is you will see on the street side people burning incense. You will see a lot of offerings to the netherworld. And you would
to the
see
ancestors.
Exactly, and you would see street side concerts. We call them getai, whereby it used to be traditional performances, but they've gone on to become like this pimped up uh, Chinese concerts.
Right.
And typically the front row seats of the concert is empty because it's reserved for the ghosts to watch. Yeah. So
You
that's
seem to be
another
obsessed
festival.
with this graveyard ghost. Huh? No, but what is it called?
Yeah.
What is this festival
It's,
called?
it's, it's called the Hungry Ghost Festival.
The Hungry Ghost Festival. That sounds amazing, actually.
So can you name a film that was shot in Singapore other than mine?
Sandcastle. Yeah. Sandcastle.
Sandcastle, right.
Yeah, Sandcastle, as of now. I mean, there would be Hindi films shot in Singapore, but this was the best film I saw out of Singapore, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And you tell me one hidden gem of the city that no tourist would know of, Something that only, it's a local secret,
There is a cinema called the Projector that is at Golden Mile Tower, which is like a really old, one of the older skyscrapers in Singapore. And in there is this independent cinema that shows all kinds of independent films. What it occupies is, it used to be a huge cinema. Actually, it still is. There is another cinema on the 3rd floor. So the projector is on the 5th floor, but on the 3rd floor is a very big cinema that shows Hindi films. But then 2 floors above is what used to be the circle seats of the huge cinema that has been converted to an independent cinema called the Projector.
That's so clever.
And that is where we now see a lot of indie films. My films have shown there. The Singapore International Film Festival is also using that space. And right outside is a bar called Intermission Bar, where you will see a lot of. It's a very nice community space where, after seeing films, you then bump into friends who might have seen a different film, and you start talking about the films you've just seen. And that bar also is actually very interesting. Is where a lot of indie music performances happen, drag shows happen. It's quite an exciting space where artists go to. Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's
Yeah.
called a projection,
The Projector. Yeah.
the projector. The
Yeah, yeah. And
Projector,
it's
the Hungry Ghost Festival. I have to write all this down. This is like
yes,
stuff you don't find.
yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
To have a little.
they retrofitted all their seats there. They maintain all the old seats, but then they've sort of refurbished them. And actually, during the lockdowns here, when the cinemas weren't doing so well, they were doing a donation drive to get people to contribute. And I made a little contribution, and on one of the seats in the cinema has the name of my dog, Peanut, as well as my name, Boo, engraved on the seat. So
That's lovely.
if you ever go there, go and look for my seats.
Such a nice thing.
Yeah, I'd love to have you in Singapore sometime, anytime. The moment the borders reopen, and yeah, maybe come to the Singapore International Film Festival. Yeah,
When is
so
that?
that's typically in late November. So it's actually happening in this year as well. So this year we're doing like a hybrid festival,
Right,
online as
virtual.
well
And,
as yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, if you come to the festival, you see Singapore films. You also see films from all over Southeast Asia,
yeah.
and at the same time experience spaces like the projector and the local community. Yeah, love to have you here. You're
I
welcome
would
with open
love to. I
arms.
would love to. This year will be impossible with everything that's
Yeah,
going
of
on, but
course.
maybe next year. I mean, I'm speaking to you now, and I can't wait. I can't wait to go in there and just peel the layers,
For
and go there. And
sure.
please come to India. Please come to Mumbai. Please.
Yeah, I've
You
been
know?
actually every time I go to India, it's got to do with film. Yeah, I've so Mumbai is a place that
Yeah, come to
film has been
Mumbai
to, but
and
I
I will
haven't.
host you, and then I won't feel so guilty about making you my tour guide in Singapore. It can be a cultural exchange.
Sure, for
It'll be
sure.
fine. Yeah. It
Let's
was
do that.
lovely speaking to you. Thank you for doing this. And yeah, it's been
It's very
lovely
nice chatting with you.
and meeting you. Yeah. Nice to have a friend there now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah. Take
Bye.
care.